Hello, Internet! I'm Alec the Purple Ardoofus, and welcome back to The Wastelands by Stephen King. Today we are finishing the story Bridge and City. I hope you finished it yourself because I do not want to ruin anything for you. Our section begins with Eddie and Susanna reaching the cradle, which is kind of like the train station, and finding a giant monument erected for Roland, and being like, huh, and then going in. They actually get to the train, and the train starts talking to them in a tiny voice. And it says, "Don't wake Blaine." And then it talks to them in a giant voice. And it says, "You have awoken me! Give me a riddle." And basically, this main train is like, "Give me your riddle or I will kill you." And so Eddie and Susanna are kind of scrambling. Meanwhile, Jake is being pushed up against the door where the Pirate of the Apocalypse is trying to get inside, and they're asking him for the password, and the Pirate's like, "Oh, you know me, come on!" The person on the other side of the door is like, "I can't let you in without the password," so the Pirate's like, "Oh, hold on a second." He whips off his little bandana and he hands a piece of paper to Jake and he says, "What does this word say?" And Jake actually has to read the password to him. Pirate gives the password to the guy on the other side of the door and he gets let in. And once he's let in, Jake and the pirate meet with the TikTok man, which is this guy who is covered in tattoos. And he is sitting in a throne, and he is very, very interested in technology. At the same time, Roland and Oi are crawling along in a vent-like area. They are hearing the voices of the Pirate Apocalypse, Jake, and the TikTok man. Roland is trying to think of a way to get inside. The TikTok man threatens Jake because the TikTok man thinks that Jake is looking down on him, and Jake surmises that the pilot of the plane at the beginning of the story was actually related to the TikTok man. And the TikTok man corrects him and says he wasn't my grandfather, he was my great-grandfather. So there you have it. This is a man who has grown up entirely in Roland's world when he was birthed from someone from our world. So that's very interesting to me. Roland is in the vent and he sends the little pet Oi to walk down and then come back with some information. And so the little pet Oi goes and Roland waits and waits and waits some more. It's just a little bit longer. And then Oi comes back, and Roland says how many people were there, and Oi kind of taps it out on the floor that there are 6 people in the room. Then we go back to Eddie and Susanna, who are trying to talk with Blaine, the train, the pink train, and trying to convince Blaine to take them to where they want to go, and Blaine isn't really having it, and he's getting really mad at Eddie and Susanna. He asks them how long they've been there, and they say, "We've only been here for a couple of weeks," when I'm like, no! And they're like, we're married. And it's like, no, we're not. So either they lied to him on purpose, or Stephen King is getting his own story wrong again. Because at the end of the second book, it was mentioned that they spent months in that green lush land recuperating from their trip along the beach. That's what consoled me whenever they mentioned the romance between Susanna and Eddie, is because they've been together for months, so they've had time to let it grow. If it's only been weeks, none of that makes sense. Really irritating how Stephen King doesn't know time in this book. We go back to the room where Jake is being held by the Pirate of the Apocalypse and the TikTok man. Jake surmises a plan to kind of anger the two so that he can try and get away, because he can hear inside of his head a voice that Roland is projecting to him through his car that says, "Distract the men so that you can open the door and let me in." And so Jake says, I had to actually read the password to get in. TikTok man kind of turns to the Pirate of the Apocalypse and he's like, "Is this true?" And Pirate of the Apocalypse is kind of like, "What?" TikTok man says, "Did you write down the password?" And he's like, "Hey, no, stupid. No, why would I do that?" The TikTok man actually accosts the Pirate of the Apocalypse to whip off his bandana and get the password from him. And while he's doing this, Jake is trying to figure out how to open the door. There's a fight among the TikTok man and his people, And then once they find out what Jake is doing, there's a fight among the people and Jake. And the TikTok man is down below Jake, trying to like hold on to his leg to keep him from escaping. And Jake actually has a gun. I believe he got it from the TikTok man's holster that he left on the throne when he was cussing the Pirate of the Apocalypse. Jake shoots the TikTok man, and the TikTok man falls limp. Meanwhile, Eddie and Susanna are still talking with Blaine, and they are feeding him riddles, and they are telling him that if they wait for Jake and Roland, they'll have a lot more riddles for Blaine to enjoy. And Blaine's like, okay, I'll wait for them, but you still have to answer mine. If you don't answer mine, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill everyone. And they're like, oh. After Jake kills the TikTok man, Roland gets into the door and he picks up Jake, and they start hearing the booming voice of Blaine saying, I am leaving the station in 5 minutes. If you are not aboard, toodaloo. And so Roland and Jake flee, heading as fast as they can for Blaine, and they are actually on this, I believe, it's kind of like a moving sidewalk, I want to say, but it's not a moving sidewalk, and they are just kind of watching things pass by, and Roland kind of turns to Jake and says, I think we're inside Blaine's mind, because what they're passing by is a bunch of computers. They eventually get to the same area that Susanna and Eddie are in, and Blaine says, okay, now answer my riddle, or I will release this gas and destroy everything here. And everyone's like, you can't release the gas, it'll blow over and it'll kill everyone in the river's crossing area. And they were very nice to us. You can't kill those people. Please don't release the gas. And Blaine says, finish my riddle, toodly-doo. And they're like, shit. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure is going into the same room that Roland just retrieved Jake from, wakes up the TikTok man, and helps him out of the room. Not exactly sure who that is. I'm guessing it's the man in black. I do not know for sure who that is. And that is how our story